All right, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to Dynamite shortly because let's get that out of the
Yeah, I'd,
way.
I'd like to get some dynamite so I can blow my brain out.
Oh,
Having
stop
watched
it.
that show. Oh, God damn
Oh,
it.
stop it. It's not as bad as it was the previous 2 weeks.
No. When was it ever this bad? Come on. Come
Well, they're
on.
on a streak. Look. Whatever you want to say about Tony Khan, there's a consistency in the bad booking.
I don't know if no, I don't even believe that's true. Consistency would indicate that it was hovering around at the same level. I think he's decided that the answer to his problems that he has and people taking him to task for those problems is to do twice as much of the stupid shit he's doing, the reason why they're taking him to task to begin with.
I guess you have to ask yourself before we get to the actual review, looking at the state of AEW. And we've all noticed the ratings lately, and yes, the NBA have had playoffs. And we've all noticed the crowds lately, and yes, they've had some nice crowds for a couple of the bigger shows. They sold out for Sting's retirement, and they just had people for the pay-per-view. And I think one of the Canada shows did well. But AEW right now doesn't have a lot of stuff to really hang your hat on, a lot of good stuff. At least to a lot of us who've been watching since the beginning. And nothing's changed.
Yeah. Phrase that because the good stuff is subjective, but a lot of main event money drawing issues amongst their top talent.
I guess my question is what metric needs to drop for Tony Khan to realize that maybe we're not doing everything great? Because everything you hear from him publicly, and again, that's just what he wants to put out there, everything is great. We've had the best run of shows. We had the greatest event tonight. Everything is great. But nothing ever changes. You know, it's one thing saying that, but you're making improvements. They've made some hires, but there's still the same problems with the TV. You can hire everyone you want. If your popularity goes down, what are they going to be selling? Too little too late when it comes to hiring the right office people.
Well, yeah, when they have hired people to supposedly take charge of departments and nothing changes, what is the problem with that?
So when it comes specifically to the booking, Tony publicly thinks everything's okay. He sees everyone up to Dave Meltzer now making comments about the booking. That's kind of the last domino to fall. We've all been explicit about Tony's booking. Dave's been kind about it. He can't even hide it too much anymore. At what point do you recognize, I need to make a change? And if these things don't make you make a change and the ratings don't make you make a change, what will?
You know, as you went through that entire very long speech with numerous sub references, but still the point is, I think that the only thing that would get Tony to panic and or publicly or change something is not even Uncle Dave question his booking, but if everybody started saying, "Oh, these matches suck," if he didn't have his dedicated audience to somehow say that Plummer Moxley versus Ishii was 5.25 stars, and this is the best in-ring wrestling we've ever seen, that may be the only thing that could potentially shake, because it seems like that's the only thing he cares about. As long as all those people are saying that, he ignores the fact that that audience is ever dwindling, and it's got a cap on it to always has to begin with, and that everything else about the company looks like the goddamn Mickey Mouse Club next to, over here you've got the WWE's its own fucking network at this point. So it just and he's just doubling up doing more shit. Everybody has a video that interrupts the promo so they can jump from behind, and everybody gets set on fire and impaled and carted off and run over with bread trucks, and everybody turns on everybody, and the factions get bigger, and the managers of the baby faces are the heels at the same time. in every goddamn segment. Am I imagining this, or are we? Especially with that pay-per-view, but over the last 2 or 3 weeks, all these things happen all the fucking time.
Yeah. I mean, since the beginning of AEW, too, we've seen things happen on that show, and almost the exact same thing will happen with other wrestlers later in the same show. There's always been issues with the formatting, whether vertical or horizontal, with the AEW Dynamite TV show.
I think it's a bit diagonal at this point.
You know, again, I always say that there have been a lot of people who know better who have been way too kind about things. When the argument is always, Tony needs people around him to help him, that's lying. The truth is, Tony can't book. And that's what needs to be said. Tony can't book. Can Tony be a matchmaker for dream matches that would be on the compilation tape of his dreams? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But he can't book a wrestling TV show. He's not good at it. And more people need to be open and say it, because that's the only chance we have of him being shamed into doing anything about it, because he wants to do it. This whole project exists for him to do it. And people are pretending that he can do it when they know he can't.
And when they generously say, well, he needs people around him that can help him, who is he letting help him? Because, goddamn, there are people that have been in the business for 2 years, a year possibly, would be more advanced in certain aspects than what we're seeing, but he only listens to the people that think the same way he thinks, which is why you've got.
That's why the same things keep happening over and over again.
Yeah, EVPs with thumbtacks on their fucking tennis shoes. You know, that's.